It's 2026 and all of a sudden there's 3 new Toyota EVs to choose from. And the one right in front of me is the Toyota CHR, and there's 2 grades, SE and the XSE. This is the XSE all-wheel drive model. All of these are all-wheel drive vehicles, and this is finished in the two-tone tandoori and black color. Between all 3 Toyota EVs, you're gonna find a lot of similarities, not just in the mechanicals, but also in the design as well. Obviously, everything is new here, and the front end adopts the hammerhead design, and that is a very successful look for the Toyota brand. It started out with the Toyota Prius, and it was such a big glow up for that vehicle that thing still turns heads to this day. And the new RAV4 has also adopted that look as well, so it makes a lot of sense for these new EVs to have this look as well. And I think it looks great with the daytime running lights. And you'll see that there's a bunch of proximity sensors all around, and there's also that forward camera for that 360-degree coverage that you get in this XSE model. When it comes to the profile, the CHR is the one that's going to stand out the most, because this has the shortest wheelbase out of the 3 battery electric vehicles you can get right now. So pretty much everything from the B-pillar on forward, the experience is going to be very similar between this, the BZ, and the BZ Woodland. And because the wheelbase is a little bit shorter, the compromise is made in the second row seating. More about that a little bit later. With the XSE model, you do get the larger, more attractive looking 20-inch wheels. This is in the gunmetal finish. And as you can see, this has been fitted with the Yokohama Geolandar XCV E+. So these are tires that's made specifically for EV usage. So this is going to have that sound absorbing foam, and that adds a lot to the driving comfort because it is fairly quiet in there when you're driving around in these things. The over fenders are finished in this matte black finish, same as a rocker panel, so it gives it that more ruggedized look. Not quite as rugged looking as the BZ Woodland, but this is somewhere between the BZ Woodland and also the BZ. I do like the two-tone paint with the black and the tandoori. The tandoori color is like the hero color for the CHR, and it looks really sharp. The black roof really lowers the look of the car, and I think this is my favorite vantage point for the CHR. It looks really aggressive from this angle. The front end looks pretty similar to the BZ and the BZ Woodland, so it's hard to tell them apart, but from this angle, I think the CHR looks really good. The CHR was always a boldly styled vehicle, and the previous one was a little too wild in my opinion. It wasn't for everyone, but I think with this design, it's a little bit more mainstream, especially with the front hammerhead design. And at the rear end, the CHR looks pretty special. It's got the built-in roof rails right there, and the slightly aggressive looking spoiler with the subtle deck lid spoiler on here at the back of the hatch. And I like this color configuration where the license plate area is blacked out, so that adds a little bit of texture to the back end, giving it more of a slim profile. So compare this CHR to the BZ, you could tell that this looks a lot more athletic than the other one. On the right-hand side of the vehicle, you'll find the charging port, and for 2026 models in general, not just the Toyota EVs, you'll find that companies are going to start to adopt this NACS standard. So I like that we have come to a standard for EVs now, so you can actually take this to a Tesla supercharger station, but if you do need to charge up at an Electrify America station, they will give you an adapter so that you could use the CCS, or the combined charging standard. Now, when it comes to the charging performance, this is going to have a 74.7 kilowatt hour battery. That number is going to be very familiar because that's the size of the BZ and the BZ Woodlands batteries. All of these things are built on the same platform. They're more or less the same car. Lots of shared components. So with 74.7 kilowatt hour battery, this thing can go up to 273 miles with this XSE all-wheel drive. If you need more range, then you should go down to the SE model, the SE all-wheel drive, and that's about $2,000 cheaper compared to the XSE. And that has a 287 mile range. And that's because the SE model is a little bit defeatured. And because it's a little bit lighter and you still have the same battery size, you're going to have a little bit more range. And you're going to find that that's the case with all of these vehicles with the same battery size. Any change in curb weight, any change in electric motor to give it more capability is going to influence the amount of range that you get. So for example, best case scenario here is 287 miles with the SE all-wheel drive. But if you go with the BZ Woodland, with the all-terrain tires. Again, that's a little bit more friction, a little bit more rotational mass. That's going to drive the range down to 260 miles. But for the CHR's application, with a curb weight of around 4,366 pounds for the XSE model, the heavier version, this is going to return a 0 to 60 time of about 4.9 seconds. That's per Toyota's claim, and you could see my own time in my test on the screen. And to charge this up, if you have a level 3 fast charger, this can go 10 to 80% state of charge in about 30 minutes. Or if you could charge overnight in a level 2 charger, say in your home, that's going to take about 7.5 hours to go to full. When it comes to the interior, I really like what Toyota has done for all of these 3 EVs. Again, everything from the front seat on forward, it's going to look very similar, minus a few texture differences and finish differences between the CHR, the BZ, and the BZ Woodland. All of them are going to have this 14-inch touchscreen with the Toyota Audio Multimedia software. This isn't the new software that you'll find in the RAV4 and also the upcoming Highlander, the 4th EV, but this still has wireless Apple CarPlay and wireless Android Auto. And I love the look of the screen. I prefer physical buttons, but it looks like they just grabbed this design from Lexus vehicles and slapped it onto this Toyota. So as a result, all of the climate functions are embedded onto the screen, and this takes a permanent fixture on the lower third of this vehicle. But there are still physical controls here, like the defrosters and also the dial for the temperature. And I like this screen within a dial effect. Below that, we have some low profile vents with these controls. And then below that, you have your hazard button and 2 wireless chargers. You'll get this in the SE model as well. And there's also dual Bluetooth connection, so that is a little bit more convenient. What's not so convenient is the fact that there's no glove box in this vehicle. The only storage options you have are the door cards and also the armrest. And this has the double hinge action so that your front passenger can also access more easily. As for the rest of the center console, we have the gear shifter, and to shift into drive, you basically push this down and then rotate. And then to park, just press the P button. And since this is the XSE model, this comes with the 360-degree camera view. And up top, you'll also get a fixed glass panoramic sunroof. And that is actually a pretty loud motor, but at least this comes with a sunshade. As for the digital instrument cluster, you have a 7-inch unit, and this looks like the BZ and also the Toyota Prius. And does the steering wheel block that screen partially? Yes, to a degree, but you could easily just move the steering wheel down or maybe move your seat up. It's really not that big of a deal. And the steering wheel is pretty straightforward, lots of physical buttons, and there's also paddle shifters to control the amount of regen braking. And as far as the regen braking, there's really no one pedal driving mode. You just have 4 different levels to choose from. But in my opinion, not having one pedal driving isn't that big of a deal. If you're coming from an internal combustion engine car, that is something that you could easily adjust to and tune to. But if you're coming from other EVs that do have one pedal drive, this might be a disappointing thing. As for the interior materials, because this is the XSE, you do get some suede inserts here and with some Softex surfaces on the outside of the seat. This feels a little bit more higher quality. It does look pretty nice, and it provides a little bit more grip compared to the cloth version. And because this is the XSE, you do have a little bit more features, like you have motorized seat adjustment for the passenger seat. In the SE model, it's all manual. And when it comes to the rear seats, just like I mentioned before, this has a shorter wheelbase compared to the BZ and the BZ Woodland. And considering that everything from the B-pillar to the front is pretty much the same experience, the compromise is going to be in the rear seats. And just like the previous CHR, which was a fairly small car, this one actually grew a little bit in rear legroom. There's 32 inches of rear legroom, which isn't really much, but it is enough space for an adult. If you want to have a little bit more comfort, then you should probably aim for a mid-size car and look for a rear legroom seat in the 37, 38 to 40-inch range. But generally, it's not uncomfortable back here. You do get some venting, which in some small cars, they don't even include vents back here. You just have to rely on the front vents. And this also comes with USB-C ports, and this has heated outboard seats. And when you fold down the rear armrest, you'll find that there's an extra slot here, also some cup holders, and these seats do fold down in a 60-40 fashion. And you could lower the rear seats by flipping on this latch. And when it comes to cargo space, after lifting this power lift gate, you'll find 25.3 cubic feet of space behind the second row. That's a pretty good size bump over the old CHR, which had 19 cubic feet of space behind the second row. And then when you fold the second row down, you get a total of 59.5 cubic feet of space behind the first row. And that's a pretty dramatic increase over the old CHR, which had 36.4 cubic feet of space. And those numbers are, of course, for the models that don't have this JBL speaker, because the subwoofer does take up a little bit of space. But there's other things going on here as well. You have this 1500 watt, 120 volt outlet, and then you have this rubber floor mat. And underneath that, you have some fairly flexible storage here. And this is a good spot for your charging cables. Usually that's stored somewhere up in the frunk, but there is no frunk in this vehicle. Now, when it comes to the driving experience in terms of straight line performance, this thing is going to feel pretty quick. All of these new Toyota battery electric vehicles are going to be somewhere in the same performance region compared to the original CHR, which had a 2-liter naturally aspirated engine making 144 horsepower and 139 pound-feet of torque. This is a big improvement, even though this weighs about 1,000 pounds more than the old CHR. And when it comes to the handling, this is going to feel a little bit more nimble than the BZ or the BZ Woodland, mostly because of the shorter wheelbase. So this is going to feel more agile, more maneuverable, and generally I love smaller cars because they are just more fun to toss around. And since this has a curb weight of 4,366-ish pounds, this is actually lighter than some EVs out there. I thought the braking felt pretty natural. You can adjust the amount of regen braking that the car uses, but again, there's no one pedal driving option. And I love the steering feedback as well. All of these things have electronic power steering. And in general, I thought this vehicle communicated to you real well. And when it comes to the driving assistance features, I thought it handled nicely. The adaptive cruise control was nice, and so was the lane keeping system. The only thing I didn't really care about was the sensors that constantly track your face. If you're wearing polarized glasses and you happen to look away just for a split second, it will notify you and tell you to pay attention to the road. So hopefully they'll be able to resolve that issue in the future, because polarized glasses are such a common thing. But in general, I've been really happy with the performance of this new Toyota CHR. I love the amount of power, I love the handling, and also the styling of this thing. I think this looks really cool compared to the BZ or the BZ Woodland. This has that more aggressive roofline, and I really like this tandoori color. How about you? I want to thank you so much for watching all the way up to this point. My name's Hanson, and this has been the 2026 Toyota CHR XSE all-wheel drive, and I'll see you in the next one.